Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to my weekly show called Much Ado About Hockey, presented by me, Gregory Richardson, here on Puritans Radio. On this miserable, wet Friday, I aim to warm your hearts by discussing the IIHF Continental Cup Finals, which involved East Midlands-based EIHL team, the Nottingham Panthers, as well as discussing how the Coventry Blaze are progressing, heading into another action-packed weekend of Elite League action. On this week's show, I'll also try to find a way of explaining some of the rules as I go as well, because there was an interesting incident which occurred in that gold medal game held at the Motorpoint Arena last Saturday evening. Without further delay then, let's picture the scene. Danny Stewart's Nottingham Panthers are lifting a silver plate. It is Saturday, 17th January, and they are celebrating, smiling, and even daring to pour ice-cold water over their head coach, Danny Stewart. Oh, what a night! It was pandemonium, and the victory drew many smiles on the ice, and it is not the first time that they have lifted silverware at home recently. Indeed, the Panthers earned the right to play in the Continental Cup this season by beating the Cardiff Devils in that crazy playoffs final held last April. Each team had scored what they thought was an overtime winner, but it was disallowed at each end before the home side did eventually successfully get the puck over the line thanks to Mitchell Fossier. Fast forward 9 months and the same group of players found a winning recipe in Europe's second division competition. Having qualified for finals weekend, the Panthers were determined to go the distance, and they made a promising start on the Wednesday evening as they triumphed 4-0, as I briefly mentioned last Friday. Danny Stewart's troops then won again by the same score and the same margin on Friday night against GKS Katowice, thus guaranteeing themselves a place in the gold medal game, where they faced Continental Hockey League team HC Torpedo from Kazakhstan. The Nottingham Panthers were cruising to the finish line thanks to goals from Matt Spencer, Brian Lemos again, and a successful penalty shot attempt from Cooper Zek. But there were nervy moments as the final buzzer drew ever closer. Firstly, Stefan Raffel denied Kevin Carr a shutout, or in football speak, a clean sheet, as he made it 3-1 with a shot on target from the blue line with just 91 seconds left to play. Then, suddenly, just 65 seconds later, or if you prefer 1 minute and 5 seconds later, Mikhail Rachmanov shocked the home crowd as he also managed to find the back of the net. Over 6,000 or so locals were stunned and suddenly trembled with fear after what happened in last year's EIHL final, but Zsombor Garat quelled those bad thoughts by shooting the puck into the empty net, thus ensuring that the visitors would not complete the comeback as they converted their opportunity when skating 5-on-6 with opposition goalkeeper Vladislav Pestov sitting on the bench. The Panthers then subsequently held out as that goal was scored on 59 minutes and 48 seconds, and it is more or less impossible to score 2 goals in 12 seconds. You really need all of the puck bounces to go in your favour in order for that to happen. Therefore, the Panthers skated out 4-2 winners, meaning that they claimed the trophy. Joyous scenes followed. In seasons gone by, the champions of this annual event were rewarded with a wild card place in Europe's Champions Hockey League the following season, but that is no longer the case as fewer Challenger League places are available in the CHL draw. Consequently, Stewart's Panthers need to continue their promising league form in order to pursue their hunt for top spot. They will also be taking part in the Challenge Cup semi-finals next month, with both a home and an away leg against the Sheffield Steelers to play. So the Grand Slam remains very much on the cards for the East Midlands franchise. For now though, I'll just like to stop, wait a minute, but not to fill my car, put some liquor in it, sign the cheque. No, I am not attempting a cover of that Bruno Mars song, Uptown Funk. Do not worry. But rather, I would like to briefly explain why Kupezek was awarded a penalty shot opportunity in the second period on Saturday night. Quite simply, it is because an opposition player, so someone wearing the Ashsea torpedo kit, handled the puck, so used their hand to move the puck when in the goaltender's crease, meaning that an immediate scoring chance was prevented. As you have probably guessed, it is illegal to handle the puck for any player except if the goalkeeper is catching it with his glove in his marked out zone. Deliberate passes with the hand are not allowed either. You really need to be using your stick, otherwise it is deemed as foul play and the referees will call the game to a halt and award either a penalty shot, as was the case in this instance, and the signal for a penalty shot is arms above the head, hands slightly crossed with your fists clenched, just in case you are interested to know what the referee's signal was. On that note, however, you are allowed to use your hand to stop a puck taking an aerial route, but you then have to be playing it immediately after, so it's literally just to drop the puck down from the air down to your stick. You cannot air the puck to a teammate. So for example, you cannot just obstruct the puck and sort of deliberately push it towards a teammate if you wanted a bit more detail. So in short, you have to stop the puck dead and it needs to come straight down from the air onto your stick. That is allowed and the referees will usually say play on. Anything else that involves having handled the puck in any way and you are deemed to have passed the puck to a line mate by handling it. Moving on then, and it is now time for me to discuss events in the Dragon's Den. Yes, in case you are wondering, the Sky Dome Arena plays home to the mythical creature with Scorched the Dragon being the mascot at every home game. And I will come on to the home game against the Glasgow Clan in just a second, but before that, there was a crucial game being played at the Dundee Ice Arena last Saturday, whilst the Nottingham Panthers were winning a trophy. The Blaze, down 2-0 on the head-to-head with the Stars, finally won a contest this season, and rather convincingly as well, it has to be said. They even had a few chances to put the game to bed in the first period, especially as Elia Barega and William Boyson created a few grade A chances. Emil Cruz intervened both times before Matthew Gleeson's attempt was also stopped by the Swede just moments later. Nevertheless, the hosts scored the opening goal of the night against the run of play. From an offensive face-off, skipper Dryden Dow put the puck towards the net and Mortgen Jurgens found Craig Garrigan open and available in the slot. The Dundee Stars were winning 1-0, but they were not far off conceding at the other end, and eventually that inevitable Blaze goal went in. Indeed, in the 19th minute, so just before the interval, Robbins capitalised on Sorcerman's neutral zone turnover. Assists went to Ruffin and Mismash. This, arguably, was the turning point of the game as Finnish star Otto Nieminen had created a glorious opportunity for the Stars a few minutes earlier, but Marc Lefebvre's men could not convert it. The Stars certainly paid the price thereafter because once again they slumped in the middle period. In fact, that Blaze net find at the end of the first period kick-started a sequence of 3 unanswered goals as Elia Barriga put 2 past Emil Cruz, one at even strength and another during a power play. In fact, ex-Dundee star Barraga completed his hat-trick at his old home rink with just 10 minutes remaining, making it 4-2 in the process. Matthew Bowden's score at the Sky Dome on 9th January had reduced the deficit right at the start of the final period to give his teammates a glimmer of hope, but Barraga had other ideas, as aforementioned. Then Robbins, again in the groove on Saturday night, sealed the deal and, in all probability, Coventry's playoff spot, despite the fact that there are 3 more head-to-heads to be played between these two teams in February. Indeed, after all the games of the weekend had been played, Kevin Moore's team suddenly had an 11-point cushion over Dundee's Scottish rivals, the Five Flyers, and a 13-point lead over the Dundee Stars, who now occupy 10th and last spot. Just to give you an idea of how much the Stars have slumped, after winning 5-4 at the Sky Dome on Saturday, 22nd November, they were just 2 points behind the Blaze, having played 8 games compared to the Dragons' 13. So they even had 5 extra games in hand as well. Now, though, despite still having a few games in hand, that gap is up to a 13-point deficit, and that includes having claimed 4 points out of a possible 6 against the Blaze this campaign. It has to be said that is a major disappointment for Mark Lefebvre's team, and they are certainly running out of chances to stake a claim for a place in the top 8. Something exceptional is going to happen, and soon, if they are to eventually overtake the Glasgow Clan or the Guildford Flames in the weeks to come. Why do I say this? Well, the Blaze are currently on a hot streak, and their form is such that they are potentially on the cusp of leapfrogging both the Flames and the Clan into 6th place. Having won 5 of their last 6 games, Kevin Moore's troops have earned themselves an opportunity to climb up the table, although there remains a bit of a gap between them and the Manchester Storm, who they play on Sunday, 1st February at 5:30 p.m. at the Sky Dome Arena. That promises to be a cracker, and you really do not want to miss it. Remember, it's just £24.64 to watch top division ice hockey in Coventry. That really is a bargain, and you really want to be there that evening. It will be electric, especially as the Storm may well be playing to overtake the Sheffield Steelers, who are currently in the doldrums. Anyway, I am aware of how much information I've given you there, but before I break that down and talk about the league table in more detail, I'll add that the Blaze beat the Clan by 4-1 on home ice. Once again, the power play proved to be a potent weapon, as the Dragons' 3rd goal of the evening was scored during a man advantage. Mismash, on fire of late, finished off the move with a brilliant wrist shot straight from the face-off after teammates Artem Bazovia and Jack Hopkins had given the hosts a 2-goal head start in the first third. Hugo Roy did eventually get the visitors on the score sheet with a power play goal of their own before Mismash found the net on the man advantage from the point, as I said just a moment ago. At 3-1, it is very much still anybody's game going into the final period, but the Blaze learnt their lesson from Friday 9th January and did what needed to be done, troubling the scorers once more in the process, thanks to leader Grayson Constable 7.5 minutes from time. That victory took the Genting Casino Coventry Blaze up to 29 points from 31 matches. As a result, they drew level with their Sunday night opponents, the Clan, whilst the Guildford Flames have just 2 extra points. So, as you heard me say earlier, the Blaze very much have an eye on climbing the tree up to 6th by the end of the weekend, although facing the Clan in Scotland will be a tough ask, and then the Five Flyers come down from Scotland themselves for Pride Night, when equality and diversity will be celebrated across our sport. Over this weekend and next, on one home and on one away evening, special pride rainbow jerseys will be worn by each team to celebrate the fact that everyone is different, spreading the message that ice hockey is for everyone. So, if you know that your team is playing, I strongly recommend going along to your local venue and supporting an important annual event across the Elite League. In fact, both myself and Ian, your 007 Live host, will both be taking part in Sunday's game, as we were keen to be involved in spreading this very message. To mark the occasion, the Coventry Blaze will be taking on the Fife Flyers just under 48 hours after having played at the Braehead Arena, where they won just recently. The Blaze are highly likely to register another 4-point weekend based on form, but there are some other games worth your attention this weekend. Indeed, whereas the Belfast Giants have rocketed up the table since the turn of the year, the Sheffield Steelers have slumped. So much so that Cameron Critchlow's team are just 4 points off the top 4 ahead of their head-to-head with the Sheffield Steelers at the Utilita Arena on Saturday evening in what could be a crucial game when considering the consequences for both sides going forwards this campaign. Either the Steelers will gain a 6-point advantage over the Storm, edge 5 points ahead, or the gap will narrow to either 3 or 2 points, depending, of course, on whether the game is won or lost in regular time or in overtime. There could even be a penalty shootout. You just never know what drama may occur, which is what makes this sport so captivating. It is arguably the most important fixture of the weekend in that sense, although the Devils' trip to the Utilita on Sunday afternoon is crucial for the Welsh franchise, as they hope to be back on a level playing field with the Giants at the top, especially as the Northern Irish team, currently in first place, still have a game in hand. Right then, I firmly believe that I've covered all bases for now. Thank you very much once again for listening to me, Gregory Richardson, here on Puritans Radio, and I hope that you enjoy another busy couple of days of sport, and I look forward to telling you everything about my next adventure to Coventry. Same time, same place, right here on your favourite radio station. Ta-ra and take care. Bye.